In this video, we are going to talk about the mathematical term mean. The definition of mean in math is an average. You are familiar with the word average because your grades are an average of all the work you've done in the 9 weeks. So you get a math average for the 9 weeks, a language arts, and so on and so forth. There is a very specific way to find the average or the mean, and we'll call it mean even though in the real world everybody kind of calls it average. And we will go over that method in just a second, but let's talk about why in the world do we even need to know how to do mean? In the real world, we use mean for our grade averages, which is what I just talked about. We can also see them in the weather world. The meteorologist or the weatherman will get an average of, say, a week's temperature, or they may have a seasonal average of temperature. So temperatures are averaged a lot. You can also see this, your parents are probably pretty familiar with hearing this on the news, that they'll have the average price of gas in the nation. So we can kind of see if we're below average in our area or if we're way above the national average. A lot of you sports fans probably know that some of your favorite players have different averages. If you're a baseball fan, then maybe your favorite player has a batting average that you're aware of. In basketball, it might be a free throw point average. So sports, you will see averages a lot. So when we use it with a graph, we're going to take the data and find the mean. Here are the steps to finding the mean or the average, and I can use those words interchangeably because they do mean the same thing. Step one, you're going to take your data set, all the numbers in the data set. Doesn't matter if there's 4 numbers, 10 numbers, 25 numbers, or even more than that. You're going to take all those numbers and you're going to add the data set. You're going to add the numbers up. Step 2, you have to know how many numbers you added up, and you're going to take your sum from step 1 and divide it by however many numbers there were total. And this is going to make more sense when I do some examples in a moment. Whatever you end up in set 2 is your mean. Sometimes there will be a remainder, so let's actually do some examples. Let's say we had a data set of these numbers. The first thing I'm going to do, step 1, said to add all those up. So I have 10 plus 4 plus 2 is 16 as my sum. How many numbers did I have total? I had 4 numbers. So now I'm going to take my sum and divide it by the number of numbers I had in the data set. So 4 goes into 16 4 times. When I multiply that, that's 16. I get nothing left over. So my mean on this particular one is the number 4. It's just a division problem. This is why we talk about why division is so important in math, because you don't just use it when I say, oh, divide these numbers. You use them in other math concepts. And mean is one of those that you have to know how to divide in order to be successful at finding averages. Let's try another one. Let's say we had these, let's say these were your math grades. So what is the first step? You're going to add up all the numbers in the data set. Data set is just a list of numbers. So I have 11 ones. I can't have that, so I have to regroup. There's 18. Another 9 is 27. 28 plus 8 would be 36. And then I have 400. So I have 461 as my sum. Step 2 tells me to count how many I have up here, and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's the number I divide by. And when I get done dividing, my quotient is in fact my mean. So 5 cannot go into 4. It can go into 46, so I know I'm going to have a 2-digit quotient. 5 times 9 I know is 45, so I can subtract that and get 1. Bring down my other 1. 5 goes into 11 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. I subtract, I have a remainder of 1. So I would say my mean is 92. When it's 5 and up, your average would actually go up when you're talking about your grades at school. So when your teachers are finding your average for whatever subject it is, if you get a 92 remainder 4, 3, 2, 1, you're going to get whatever that quotient was. If it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it will round it up to the next grade. So that's where sometimes your averages, if it's a little bit higher on a grade, it can help you push you up to the next number. All right, I want you to try a few on your own. I'm going to show you a website, and I'm actually going to have this link for you on the Edmodo page. So I'm going to go to this website real quick. And it has some real-world examples of mean. This website is called mathgoodies.com. And it will take you through some problems. I want you to actually do these 5 exercises. You will actually go through the steps, add up the numbers, divide by however many numbers there are in that data set, type it in and click enter, and it'll tell you whether you're right or wrong down here at the results box. What you will do, and I'm going to put this on the page in just a minute, you write down what you got and whether it was right or wrong. If it was wrong, you can try again. It's okay. Okay, so your additional homework along with the video and the quiz. So the first thing is go to the website. Second thing, do the exercise problems. And 3, you're going to write down your answers on the student side in your journal, okay? The 4th thing I want you to do is I want you to try to think of 2 more uses of mean in the real world. So look at what we talked about and then come up with 2 more of your own. And list those on your journal page as well. We will be discussing all of this in class, so don't skip this part. So not just watching this video and taking the quiz on the video, but you're going to go to the website that I post on Edmodo. You're going to do those 5 exercise problems and write what you got for your answer on your student side of your journal. And then you're also going to think of 2 more uses of mean in the real world and write that in your journal as well.